This is like a little, as a matter of fact, the next video I've got done, and I said in the beginning of it, this is an introduction, and I decided to use the whole video. Morning trice. Oh, I can't use this. That was Myra's bike. Music playing. I don't like that music in the background of any videos. I'm going to start this over. Making videos over here isn't really duck soup. It's not as easy as a lot of people think it is. To a few of us, it's a little more natural. To me, I can talk this camera, and I just feel like I'm talking to myself, which I do, and it's okay. It doesn't matter. The real truth is, I have spoken to the public before. I've spoken to groups of people, and in front of groups, and despite the errors that I do when I do my speaking, I am used to thinking, what's the term, on your feet, to convey a whole train of thought, and sometimes it comes across well in a video. It's not easy doing videos. For one thing, you lay your life in front of other people for them to judge. They shouldn't be doing that, because the fact is, this is an entertainment. To me, if you enjoy the video, that's fine. It's real truth. The real truth, like I say all the time, is this videos are for me. They're records. They're like a photo album, you know. And I wish that people that saw and commented realized that a lot of times videos are like a photo album. And I lay it out on the counter, you know, and you pick it up and you look at it. It's like that family album you lay on the table in your living room, and people can pick it up and look at it. And if they pick it up and look at it and go, oh my God, Uncle Ralph is an ugly looking thing, you know. Jesus, little kids, why'd you dress those kids like that? They don't look right. And you say, Jesus, you pick up my family album and you're criticizing it? What are you doing? You know? And that's what these videos are. This is life over here. That's what we're doing over here. And if you make a mistake, you get butchered. I try not, and rarely do I, delete any comments. Things I don't like pop up, but that doesn't mean I'm going to delete that comment. The ones I do delete are obscenities, where it was something where if a kid picked it up and read and somebody's cussing and swearing in it, those I won't leave on. But and when you're degrading to a person, I don't like it. I don't always delete those though, because that's your opinion. And some of the comments I've seen and read on a few videos is the reason for this next video coming up. There's a man here that made some errors. He made some errors. They're just errors. Doesn't mean a human being is no good. That's what's wrong to do. I don't like any of the really, really, really bad comments. I probably had made a mistake, because I had mentioned that I didn't make a mistake, because I had I really didn't have much of a choice. I had said I'm not going to work with any other foreigners coming over here, because I personally can't afford it. I can't afford to. I lose money every time. Myra does not do this for money. She never asks anybody any money. And rare is the time when she felt like she really came out ahead. We did have one man come here that was extremely generous, and she definitely didn't lose with him, but she did get caught with the internet bill. He actually thought she had cut the internet off on him, which she had not done. The wires had been knocked loose because I actually checked it afterwards, and there was some wiring that bumped, and the cable was knocked loose. But we're caught with internet again, and it's expensive. It's expensive. It's by the time somebody doesn't pay a couple bills, and you have to close that off. It's a decent chunk. It's 8,000 plus pesos, a couple $100 or more. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to get involved anymore. Myra has to put internet in her name. In this area, at least, a foreigner can't go in. I don't know if it's all over Philippines, but in this area, they won't let a foreigner go and put in his own name. I don't know why. I don't know anything about that. Don't know anything about it. I'm not quoting laws or rules. That's what I understand. And I do know some foreigners tried to get internet and they couldn't get it on their own. So, that big, oh my God. I'm rambling on my introduction, for crying out loud. I'm rambling on my introduction. What's going to happen in the real video? Well, I know because I started it. It is a rambling thing. Oh my God, it has the rambling moments. The reason for all these videos is that we're not going to do this anymore. We don't want to. We have one man we've already committed to. We will follow through with that, but we're not going to, unless it's something Myra decides to do. Again, I don't want to lie. Unless this is something she decides to do for one specific or a specific person that she has been in contact with. I don't think she will ever do the internet thing again. I don't think that. Hey, Jesus, there's some people want to be embarrassing to us here. Jesus. Luckily, I've been here long enough. The neighbors are nice, They go, God, where'd you get them at? They're not saying that we're bad. They're saying, what's happening there? It's hard. It's another country, and to pop in here and understand. Unless you really, really look and believe and study my videos, you won't know what it's like here. And it is another country. The thinking is different. The thinking is different. I just had the reality in my own head just last night. Just last night it clicked. Because the one thing we talk about, or been talked about, I hear, and I've spoken to other people about, is this, I love you. Right off the bat, you get next. Like this, I love you, Maybe it's us making the big giant error. Oh, she loves me. Look at that. She loves me. You can love your dog. Maybe this I love you is just a greeting, a nice thing to say. Because I know you can say, I love you. But if you tell somebody, I really like you, they kind of go, oh, do you really? The love you doesn't even matter. The really like you does. And I've seen it. And I went, Jesus. This guy says, I like her, and she's in a frenzy over it. And the I love you doesn't mean much. It's just, well, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it was us Westerners have a different take on a big hug, I love you. And, maybe it's us misinterpreting it. Because I know the term like carries a lot of meaning. You do not go to some man's house like you would in the United States and say, oh, your wife's so nice, I like her. That puts eyebrows up. What are you doing liking my wife? So that there was a series of unfortunate events that caused them a lot of grief over here. And it's really too bad. It's really, really, really too bad it happened. Now comes the video. Life is good if you're careful. Jesus, oh my God. Okay, you guys. Watch this next video all the way through, all of it. Well, everybody, this will be the third time I've attempted this video. And the way to do it. I was going to do a series of videos. As you saw, I started out with the one on scamming, on what is really scamming, what is scamming. And I was going to do a series of different things to explain how you can get yourself in trouble over here. Misjudging and not following what the cultural mores say. Even though there may be not be a law, not following the culture can be a very difficult thing. It can cause you a lot of problem. This is an introductory. This is an introduction for a video that's coming out. The one coming out is the one I've really attempted several times. I discovered from the way people watch videos that if they pop in the middle of this long video I'm going to do, if I did several small videos, if they dropped in the middle of any section, it would be misunderstood. The whole picture has to be seen at once, everything. I'm going to draw your interest with something because it's going to be a good video, and I hope I'm not offending the man I'm making a video about. He should not be. This is actually it's an in defense of video. A foreigner came over here. Very likable man. Very likable man. I honest to God, even now, I miss him because he's not here. I enjoyed the conversations. I enjoyed immensely the visits. I hope he doesn't disappear totally into the sunset, but I don't know. There's been some. Oh my God! I get stuttered because it's so hard. What was a series of unfortunate incidences? A series of unfortunate events that happened to this guy. When somebody over here, especially somebody that lives here, says you shouldn't do something, you really, really shouldn't do it. And if you bring your country over here and say, well, this is what I would have done in Ohio, this is what I would have done in California, I am going to have a problem. This is not California, this is not Ohio, and it's not England. It's a different country. That means you have to adjust your life differently. If you don't, you wind up in a big problem. I feel bad because the unfortunate events happened, but they all could have been avoided by listening to Myra and what I had said. There's things you do and things you don't do over here. This looks like it might even lead into the movie. This might not even be a pre-movie. When you come over here as a foreigner, I'm gonna do this right off the bat because I see he's being wrongly accused of something, and there are things he's done wrong. Yes, but this is not wrong. Myra had money donated to her to go to her internship for her law school. It was not requested, not asked, nothing else. Upon arriving, he says, hey, you guys are very neat and made me feel really good in Myra too. And I would like to do this because I want to do something good. I want to do something good. Myra's intent with the law school is real estate and people trying to get their land back that have had it taken. she wants to work with the people that don't have money so they can afford a lawyer. She lost land due to the fact that she couldn't afford a lawyer. And that's what made her attention so much on this. This is what I want to do. Now we'll back up one notch again. So this money was donated. As a matter of fact, it was said, I want to donate it all. I said, no, you can do it all, but only a piece at a time. I don't want it all. We don't want it all. Right now we got to pay your registration, which is $1,000. It was for 40 something. I don't know in pesos, but it was 40 something thousand pesos to do the registration for the internship. They call it a review over here, but it's an internship. She actually goes into court and does cases there. I have heard, the one thing I have heard mentioned is I put all my money, and he did say he would, but we have 1,000 right now. Maybe he really plans on following through with this. Maybe so. He's a very honorable man. It just might be that's what his plans are. Despite all the problems here, Jesus. Again, this was 100% his idea. Not even mentioned anything by us. He'd seen the videos that I wanted to do this. It was extremely nice. I tried to do the best I could to repay that, even though it was a donation, to repay it in helping. I promoted his YouTube. I did the graphics and the artwork. I gave him a website, set up the WordPress, showed him how everything works, how you can monetize YouTube, and how you set up your keywords, your titles, and all that information. I had done that, and it was quite successful. The truth of the matter is, the 100% truth of the matter is, had that been nothing more than an investment to get everything started, it would have been a darn good one, because I know it's all returned already. I know that. Oh my God. Okay. I just want everybody to realize that I tried to give this back, and I don't think there was any real suffering over it. Now there was oh Jesus, I get so many things. This is so long and involved. Jesus. First start. Okay, first start. First problem. He did a favor for someone here. And I say, doing a favor is nice. Doing a donation for somebody is nice. But be careful how you talk about it. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even bring it up. Let somebody else bring it up. Don't you do it. But he didn't listen. Consequently, the person he helped, her friends found out of this is not Myra. I asked him, I mentioned it, God, everything is bad. You donated this to Myra. Please don't do that. The reason being, if she started on this internship and it didn't work out, here it is in front of the whole world that she started this and it didn't work. Extremely, extremely embarrassing. I said, please don't mention this. The error that was done is he says, I donated a lot of this money to somebody, and so of course everybody goes nuts. What are you doing? What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? He did that from Myra. I feel like I owe him so much, because I personally feel like I owe him, because he was very aware that I was worried about when I'm gone, that there's nothing I could really leave Myra. I don't have money. I don't have anything to leave for this woman that has made my life so wonderful, you know. And the fact he has, even if he doesn't complete, the fact he has initiated this process for her bar exam puts me a lot more at peace. I know she'll be able to make a living from it. Myra's tough as a rock, and this is just giving her a security that I have not been able to provide, and for that I thank him. I thank him very, very much. If you're watching this, thank you for that. Myra did say, if you, I can't believe you're doing such a thing for me, but if you do this and you follow through with it, she said, I've got a piece of land in Cebu that I'm quite sure if I fight for it in court, I can get this land. It was mine, and it was just kind of taken over because when my I'm not going to get into that private part. There's something that she had a tragedy in her life, and during that time, it was she turned into survival mode much more than this is my land. I got to watch it. I got to feed my kids, and nothing else mattered. She could not afford an attorney to try to keep her land, and now she wants to try to get it back. If she gets that back, she had told this man, I will give you this land. I'll give it to you. And this was not part of the deal, not a negotiation prior. It was after the fact, after it's all done, after the donation was made. She said, I would like to do this in return for you. I also tried to do something to compensate, because that's a lot. That was a lot to do. That was a tremendous gift for him to do. And there's a lot more. There's still a lot more. To be quite honest, there's a lot more. The internship is the final phase of school. The school was completed, but the internship to show the courts and the people around that you can function as an attorney, then you take the bar exam. And the bar exam itself is a very expensive venture. Jesus. But then law school in the United States, all that's expensive there too. I think I'm looking at everything on the viewpoint of a retiree with a $1,200 a month income, and to me, I go, oh my gosh, it's going to be rough, you know. Anyway, this was an extremely nice, generous thing that was offered, and Myra wanted to offer something in return. I don't know where this is going to go in the video. I think I forgot to say it. I might have even said it. If I did, I won't even be using this. Oh, I think this is my last piece of video. Now I got to put the puzzle together. She says, I'm 99% sure I'll get that land, and if I get that, I will give it to you. So he does have something to gain from this. It's not just the idea of being tossed in the breeze, but this was an after. This was an after. It's not a, he didn't do it for the land. It's important because a foreigner can own land, but it's got to be given to them as a gift. They can't buy it. It has to be a gift, and a well-deserved gift. And this will be a well-deserved gift if she winds up a lawyer. So, done with that part of the story. Oh my God. Okay, the first event, like I started, okay. and I still thank him for not doing it himself. And finally, Myra and I talked, and she says, "Hey, I don't care. We gotta do this because it looks like people believe he didn't help anybody, and he did. He really did." And Myra is going to school right now, and it's expensive. It's expensive for me now. The school registration was paid, but for her to go every month, it runs me about $150, $200. It's very, matter of fact, it's extremely difficult. But considering the registration was paid, we're doing our best to get through this and get her to the. She can't just take a bus. She's going from one court to another. She presents court cases. She goes from one court to another place. Everything is for free. It is an internship, and she has to take taxi. She can't take a bus and a trike. It's got to be a taxi from here to there. And you've got to also try to get yourself so you look halfway decent when you come in as an attorney and not sweat pouring down and everything else. So it's an expensive venture. Anyway, besides that, Error one, the poor girl. He did a favor. He did do it, and it was a wonderful favor he did, a wonderful thing. But I said, you shouldn't mention this. You shouldn't talk about it. And he did. And it wound up that the neighbors found out, what did she do to get that? Why did he do her a favor? What's going on here? And there was nothing going on, but it was like the first scandal. And they go, my God, please, you got to listen. If I say don't do something, it's because I know, And and the husband found out, and he wasn't pleased about it. What's going on at that, Oh my God. So this made the first ripple. This really drew attention to him. But everybody liked him. Everybody likes him now. They're just kind of leery a little bit. He fell right in. The people did enjoy him being around, did like him being here. And I keep saying did in the past tense, I guess mostly because he's not here right now. And now what do I do in the phase two? Oh, the first big money expenditure, getting lost. Getting lost in another province. It's humorous, but it's not humorous. But I think everybody saw the video. If you haven't, it's a neat video to watch. He's got it posted. What happened is he went up to see a festival and didn't take ID, didn't take any papers, didn't take any phone numbers, didn't take anything. Did not know where he lived at. It was right after he got here. Got there, got separated from the people he was with. And he says, holy mackerel, what am I doing? I don't know where I live. When finally the brown guy got to speaking with him, well, what's your phone number? Well, I don't have one. Well, who can you contact? Well, I don't know. Where do you live? I don't know. What town? I'm not sure. Myra found him. Myra used to work with the military to find people. And she found him up there. She gathered the girls together, piled all in a car. They took off and went to go get him. Meanwhile, he had thought the guys that brought him abandoned him, which they didn't. They were on the streets looking for him, but he was in somebody's home. And he got a ride to come back here. By then, Myra got up there, but then she was angry that this guy got put in. He got put in a trike to come back here. Didn't really know for sure where he was coming, and she wouldn't leave. She wouldn't leave the location she was at until he called here and said, "Hey, I'm here, home. Everything is safe." She wouldn't leave. So Myra takes care of business per se. This is an important thing to mention. Myra takes care of business. If there's a problem, she fixes it now. This is very important because it will come up later. People bring their country over here with their attitudes of what people are doing and what they're suffering and what's bad and what's not bad. And to go to somebody's home in a province and look there and go, poor them, I have to rescue them. That's not true. You can't rescue the Philippines. The province is not a terrible life to live. It may not be like the center of Cleveland, you know. It might not be like the American home or the British home, but it's not a deplorable life. Millions of people live like that here. So when you think you're going to go and rescue this poor province girl and bring her into a subdivision and save her, you're making a giant, giant mistake. Giant mistake. I know this firsthand to me, when Myra went down and brought her nieces up here. Everybody saw the nieces unhappy and laughing and dancing, got everything going. The fact of the matter, it was really good for a little while. Then they started missing home, missing the neighbors, missing the family, missing the kids, and they left here to go back. The rescue mission was not a rescue mission. They were all very happy to get back home and see their kids and see their family again. Speaking of that, Madeline may be back one of these days. She's talked to Myra and says, I want to come back for a while, so we may have her back. This little piece of information is important because it will come up later. I'm going through a blank. There's too much happening. Excuse me while I gaze off and try to think, what do I want to say next? Oh, this is unbelievable. The story is so woven, interwoven. And it's very, very important that people understand that you can mess yourself up very easy here, trying to be good, trying to be nice. What you think is nice, if you don't listen when people say, hey, this is the way the country is. Don't try to change our country, because you're going to cause yourself grief. That's what happened to this poor guy here. When you come into a neighborhood or an area, you are a foreigner. You're unique. People look at you and think, what's that person like? And it's very nice over here because you're handed almost like the benefit of the doubt. You're put here to start with. Now you can dwindle down, but you're put here to start with. And that's not common. In the United States, I know it's not. You move into a neighborhood and it's kind of, what's that? Is that going to be okay? And it's not. Here, is that going to be okay? It's a whole different way of looking at you. A whole different way of thinking about you when you move over here. People will listen to what you say. You don't say, oh, I'm going to get a car next week, and not get that car because you lied. They're going to be merciless, and they're going to talk amongst themselves and say, geez, he lies. He said he's going to get a car, never got a car. You don't meet a family and go, oh, geez, it'd be nice. Let's go to the mall. We'll go to the mall next week and look around and well, that being said, how easy it is to mess up your name and be considered a liar over here. What happened was the statement was made, I don't want to be with a woman. I don't want a woman for 3 years. It was due to the fact he didn't feel financially stable or capable of taking care of anybody and didn't want anybody in his life. That's understandable, 100% understandable why it was said. But I said, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't tell the public that. Don't say that to the public because you're liable to change. And definitely don't tell the neighbors that, but it was still done. Still done, repeatedly done. Needless to say, the call of nature, and he met a woman and wound up with a woman and brought her to be with him. And the neighbors all looked at each other. The neighbor women looked at each other and went, he lied, he's a liar. Here he is with a woman. He said never, he's not for 3 years, he's not for 3. And God, they butchered him. It's really bad, but they did. They just, they hung him out to dry. This man's a liar. Look what he did, look what he did. And one of the reasons is one of the women was fond of him, and he had actually been in contact with her a couple of times, and they saw this smiling back and forth, and he danced with her a few times, and it was unknown to him, totally unknown to him. This girl had thought, well, I know he likes me, and someday maybe we'll be together, because I can't do anything for 3 years either. I'm going to school. I'm in college, and it'll take me about 3 years to finish my study. Her mind built this whole thing up of we can be together and be happy, and I know he liked me because he showed he did. I don't mean with no outward. I should be careful with that. He was no outward emotional thing, but the smile and the look and the dancing and stuff. And she thought that someday they could wind up together, but he didn't want anybody. So I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to say, here I am, because he doesn't want anybody for 3 years anyway. This is really, really too bad, because she's a nice girl and I know he did like her. Now I'm going to do something in a big defense here. I'm doing a lot. I hope that he sees this as a defense video more than anything. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Nothing evil was done. Mistakes were made. Embarrassing mistakes were made. That doesn't mean the man is bad. I don't think. God, I'm very, very careful what I say. Drop back into it. Where am I at? Okay. Jesus, I lost that train of thought again. Lost my train of thought. I joked and I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's good. That made me remember. Okay, I know what happened. I know what happened to this man. I know why he decided he wanted to see this woman. I know why. This is something he would not say himself, but I will. He got ill. He got ill. He mentioned being ill and the thing. He got ill. Myra took him to the doctor. He was not abandoned and ill. Nobody took care of him. Myra took him to the doctor. As soon as he realized he had to open his wallet to go to the doctor, he went to the doctor. And the doctor said, hey, you got a little bit of health problem here. There's nothing in a man's life that'll bring him down to from the clouds and the happiness to reality than when the doctor says, hey, you have a health problem. There's something wrong. You better take care of yourself. And he told me, he says, I didn't know I had any problem. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. You're with Myra here. Anything happen to you guys might take care of you. Something happened to me, I'm alone, And that's where the change of mind came, that maybe I should have a woman by my side. He never said this. It's a personal thing. I hope he's not offended that I'm doing this. But it definitely makes everybody understand this was not a planned event. It was almost like God, I need somebody. I don't want to be alone now. And it was the opposite. It was an unplanned thing in a response to what he felt was a health problem. everything has reactions and reactions, and sometimes not telling something causes you a lot of problem, and that, I know that's what happened. I mean, in my mind, I know that. I also have to admit there's a lot of things I don't know. Most of what this video is, I want to call this a conjecture video because it's my interpretation of what I see, what I saw happen in front of me. I feel sorry, to tell the truth, because I think there was all good intents, and to a series of unfortunate events, the intents just didn't work. Patience would have been a very, very good thing. Patience would have been an extremely good thing, because I did say, hey, time will weather this away, it'll be gone, and everything will be like it was before. If it's not, it's in your mind, because nobody's going to sit here and say, well, I'll never like that guy again, I'll hate him forever. It's not true. Not true. As a matter of fact, if you're not, well, what if they're gone? You're going to come back. What's happened? And several people here said, well, why isn't he in the house? The house is sitting there, the grass is all grown up, nobody's taking care of anything, And so Myra and I kind of got to tidy that up a little bit. But they have asked about him, and I don't think he had any idea that they would. This was actually in the video. I said this before, and I hope this fits good in where I put it at, because I did this whole big long video, and I realized my camera had kicked off and it didn't record this particular section in the video. I had a couple of sections that the camera quit recording. I got to pay close attention to it. That lens sucks in. That means it's not recording. Okay. Now on to phase whatever. Except the man, he didn't know it. That was a break in my camera just folded the lens in and back out again. He got ill here. He got ill here. Not dramatically ill, but ill enough to make him, to give him a touch of morality. Say, hey, I'm not going to live forever. And he had told me, he says, I really hadn't planned on being with anybody, but my God, I don't want to be alone. I see you and Myra so happy together, and I would like to meet somebody, And he had a friend that he was talking to, long distance, here. And he said, I want to bring her here. So you can't bring her here. You can't bring a woman from the province here, put her in your house, and not dirty her all over. You just can't do it. Can't do it. The neighbors won't like it. The neighbors will think she's wrong, and it's not going to be good for you. The wise thing to do is to go visit. Meet the family. Meet everybody. If everything is good, conditions look good, family likes you, then you come back alone. Keep that communication up. And after you're back here, plan on another trip. And then maybe the third trip, if you really decide you want to be together, then you talk to the family, and with their blessing, you bring her with you. But you will be expected to marry her. It's the honor. If you bring her, you're going to be expected to marry her. Okay. He did go down. It wasn't the most pleasant situation. And Myra got a text. The text said, that he was not comfortable. And everything, he'd been accused of some things he hadn't done. And this is not a good situation. He didn't feel like it was a good situation he was in there. Myra reacts. She doesn't sit around and wait. She actually had no choice. She had no choice. She is his a reference in immigration. She did receive this message, and she says, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to forward this on to the other attorneys, because if something happens to this man, if something happens, I'm involved in an international incident. If he gets beat up, killed, anything happens bad to him, since he's on this trip now, anywhere in between, even if it wasn't from these people, he had sent me a message and I didn't respond. I have to respond. And she sent it to another attorney. As a matter of fact, one of her instructor peers or whatever. And she says, how do you evaluate it? He looked and says, he's in trouble. He's in a province, not in a city. He's away from everybody, and you don't know who or what that family is. They might be wonderful people, and they might not be. That's a distress call. The call was forwarded to the police. This is a distress call, or is this a just saying I don't feel good here? The police looked at it and said, considering where it's at, it's out in the province, away from everything, you don't know the people, this is a distress call. And that's how it was evaluated. Now, I'm going to take a short break in here to explain something. When you say things here, the word does not have the same value as in the United States or Britain, perhaps. If you say a Filipino, it says, oh, my hand hurts, you know. The joint might be broken, that thing. It's not that they move their mouths too much. If somebody says, I'm not comfortable, that doesn't mean, oh, my chair doesn't feel good. It means there's something really in my head that is not good about this. So when you speak, when you text, you have to be sure that you watch what you say. If you say, I'm hurt, somebody thinks, you're hurt. You might mean, I'm hurt, my heart doesn't feel good. And they say, man, he's out there hurt somewhere, we gotta help him. So this will give you a little clue as to when you send a message, you have to be very careful. If you're a phoner over here and they don't respond to your message and they think you're in trouble, they are in deep problem. They're involved in an investigation for an international incident. They will pull the phone record, see what transpired, what messages were sent, and you can wind up in really, really bad problem. So anyway, Myra responded. This man brought the girl back with him. He didn't know that by bringing this girl back, he just says, hey, there was no problem down there. Because nobody would have brought that girl back had there been a problem. So he just told everybody there was no problem, which made that an illegal call for help. Oh my God, I told you this was tangled. This was tangled. By bringing the young lady back, that made the call an illegal call for help. It'd be like calling 911. And I got to mention in the middle of it that Myra had tried to call back and say, hey, is everything okay? Let me know. No answer. Nothing came back again, which just added to it. But what happened was, we heard later, with the batteries run out in the phone. That doesn't matter. That really put the problem in. That made it really, really bad then. Anyway, so Myra was informed, hey, this was a This was a call for help that wasn't true. This was a lie. This was not true. There was no problem there. This thing that we're reading isn't true. You have to press charges against him. And I said, I can't press charges against him. He told me there was I can't do that. So he actually donated money to help me go to this school. I can't do it. I said, well, if you can't do it, you're liable to be in trouble. She had to go before 2 different boards and explain what happened and why she's not pressing charges for this call for help that he didn't mean it to be a call for help, but that's how it was interpreted by her, by the lawyers, and by the police. So you got to be careful when you say things aren't right, things bad, I'm being accused. These are keywords showing distress. Be careful. So, I told you this story gets so involved. She wouldn't do it. Did cause her a problem. As a matter of fact, her words to me is, I wish he would have stabbed me in the arm with a knife and cut me, because it would not have damaged my reputation. She said, I'm going to court. I'm working with politicians. That was a terrible thing to happen to me. And was she mad? Yes. Yes. Very, 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 very mad. Very mad. And it was even suggested by the school that she back down on this friendship, because if he ever called again, she would want to respond, and she'd do it again. Because what are you going to do next time? What if there really is a problem and he calls? You can't ignore it. You've got yourself a bad person to be hanging around with and dealing with. This was a sad thing. This was a sad thing. But once she was here, her mother called and said, I do not approve of my daughter being taken. And I don't know exactly what was said, but it came really close to him winding up in really deep stuff for taking that daughter without permission. The mother did not want them to go. She says, I don't know this man. I don't know if he's good. And he's come and taken my daughter. I think he had all good intents. I think he meant to rescue this girl from a place that, in his mind, because has a different life, he brought the other country over here and said, that's not a good place to live. It doesn't matter. You can't take somebody away. I'm going to take a real quick scenario and change it. We're in the United States. We're sitting in the United States. I'm sitting in the country. I'm sitting out there. And our family's all together. We're kind of a ratty old house. We're living in this is a story. Just a story. Kind of a ratty house to a rich man. But it's like all the rest of the houses in the neighborhood. But he's from some area where all the houses are much, much nicer. So he looks at me and goes, wow, that's a ratty house. Well, no, it's not a ratty house. It's my home. Everybody around here lives like that. We all don't live like millionaires, you know? Now, this guy says nothing. He doesn't say that. He would never say that. Or he should never say that. And he sees this nice-looking girl there and goes, I've got to get her out of here and take her to a nicer place. And the guy's a millionaire. We're in the United States, remember? He's a millionaire. I'm going to take her to a better place. And the parents say, we don't even know you. You can't do that. And it goes, yes, I'm going to take her to a better place. You're going to have a better life with me. And she's all bright-eyed and, oh boy, you know, and they're ready to go and take off, and the mother doesn't like it, the father doesn't like it, and he says, but you come with me, I want to take you. So he takes her home. They're sitting in this nice, beautiful looking condo, and she knows nobody there. Nobody will talk to her. She's a stranger. Those parents in that house are no different than the parents in the Philippines. No difference. You just don't go and try to rescue somebody because you don't know what rescue means. Rescue is when you pull them out of the flood water, you're rescuing them. When they're living in the middle of a jungle in a home, that's not rescuing. That's taking out of your home and bringing you up. Again, this man, I think, had all the good intents in the world, but was told, don't do that. Brought the ideas from another country over, and that's what molded in his mind, I'm going to make this better, and it didn't work. Just didn't work. Now everything gets really messed up, right? See how interwoven his story is? Jesus. Now, this is the part he may not like to hear. The rest he should understand. This is in defense of somebody that tried to do something right all the way along, but they did not listen when they said, that's not right. We live here, I live here, Myra lives here. This is not right. You're not doing a rescue job like you thought. It's not. But they brought their country over here in their head and tried to do a rescue job. Okay. Oh my God. Everybody's gonna either hate me or love me when this is over. I want people to know how easy that you can come over and have all good intentions and have it just collapse around you. Because it is. I run around and take videos, but my God, I do not get heavily intermingled with anybody other than Myra. That's it. That's it. This is the part of the video that's going to be hard for a lot of men. For a lot of men. And it's the one that really started me up wanting to do the scam video and all that. It was this specific segment. We're older men over here. Not all of us, but the majority of us are old enough and mature enough that we think we know right, we know best. It's very hard to say, I'm wrong. I made a mistake. I fell in love with this young woman and I felt like I was 15 again. And my brain worked like a 15-year-old brain. No good. Excuse me, 15-year-olds. It's hard to bite that bullet and say, hey, God, I messed up. I made a mistake. And now I'm going to try to live through it, smile through it, and have it go okay. This is the hard part when you're an older man. I jokingly tell Chris all the time, I don't make mistakes, I don't say anything, I don't do anything wrong anymore. I said, but probably, I did something, what was the term I used? I think I made a mistake once, and that's probably the wrongest thought I've ever had, you know. I joke about that myself, I don't make mistakes. Well, I do. I joke I don't, but I do. If Myra says don't do it, I don't do it. This is not being whipped by a woman, as somebody had said. This is being smart. When Myra says you shouldn't do that, she is right. And when I tell her I would like to go over there and choke that dog, she tells me don't do it, and I know she's right. It's hard. It's embarrassing. The reality is, I think that anybody that gets themselves in a relationship here, and if they're happy for a day, a week, or a month, feel good that you had that love again like when you were a teenager, if it's even for a short amount of time, because it's a wonderful thing. If I can honestly say, if something happened with Myra and I, and we wound up apart, I could never speak bad about that woman. I couldn't. She gave me the happiest time that I've had. Jesus, I love it. She made this a wonderful, wonderful thing. And if something happened and she would decide she didn't want to be with me, thank you for that wonderful time we had. And men should look at it that way and not look at, oh, she took my money. Oh, look what she did. She wanted money for her family. And look at this, man. I did all this for her, and look what I got back. You know what you got back? A big, happy heart for a while. That's what you got back. And you paid for that big, happy heart, maybe. But you were happy. If you weren't happy and you did it, then you're called dumb. If you're doing something like that and you're not happy, that's not too freaking bright. But if you're happy, you have to thank you for that happy time. You know? If you come over here and you live like everybody else within reason, you're not going to lose a giant amount. If you come over here and say, I want to bring the United States with me, I want to build this big giant house here, fill it with beautiful things to show everybody what I have, and then you lose it, well, you deserve to lose it. You're living ostentatious compared to everybody around you. And there's not a lot of people going to feel mercy. I'm busy. I don't have time to sit around and talk about life every night. I don't do that. So they can be lonely. Come over. Oh, I'm gonna be visiting Jack all the time. Well, you're not. You're not. Because Jack doesn't want to visit all the time. I'm actually kind of a private person. I enjoy my videos. I'm one of these people. That I love the hell out of seeing you on the street and hello, how you doing, then walking away and leaving you and going home. I'm not real great about saying, well, let's get together every Saturday night or every Friday and Saturday. Let's get together every evening and talk and tell stories and that's one that I gotta say this because this is one thing, this foreigner that I was talking about. I loved him being here. I loved him being around. He didn't demand attention, and it was kind of like when I feel like speaking, I would when he felt like he did, and I miss his companionship. If he listens all the way through this movie, I want you to understand that it's too bad. It's really, really, really too bad. But I'm not the social butterfly here. I like to run around here, take a look here, take a look there, take a look here. You haven't been to the mall, let's go to a mall. I'll show you this. Okay, done. You know it. You're here. And that's kind of how I am. Jesse's wonderful. He doesn't... when I walk over, it's, hello, how you doing? Otherwise, he sits out there and enjoys the sun, you know, and he enjoys Daryl and Christine. And this ought to just about conclude this video. I know I'm going to get done. Thank God, there's more I want to say. I know that's going to happen. But you're getting a big, long everything together. And if I did separate videos, there's always a chance to see one piece and not associate with the other, and it all fits together so much. And again, I think this guy tried to do well. The only thing I wish I hadn't got stuck with that internet, because even it's too bad. And I think even there he didn't realize that. He said, well, you just take it off the rent because I'm not going to be there, and I paid in advance. He paid up till October. And I'm not going to be there. He says, take it out of my rent. Well, I can't take it out. I don't own that building. The money was given to the landlord. The money's gone, you know. But even there, he tried to make that right. Oh, well. Hey, life is good. Life is good. But I'm going to tell you something. If you're over here and somebody says, don't go in that building no matter what. I live here. Don't go in that building. If you do, then don't say, oh my God, I went in that building and my life is terrible. You didn't listen. You didn't listen. And I'm going to let it go at that. This is sad. This is a series of unfortunate events. Now, if anybody really watched this all the way through, I can read it in the comments, because you're going to say, well, how do you like me so far? Life is good.